A new Kentucky law making major changes to sentencing and parole takes effect today.
Logan's Law expands the definition of a violent offender and requires some offenders to serve more time before becoming eligible for parole. Amelia Lee is live in Frankfort talking about the reason behind the change for sentences in the Commonwealth. Amelia?
Logan's Law is named after 6-year-old Logan Tipton. He was killed in his Versailles home in 2015. Now, before this bill became law, it was filed in response to Ronald Exantis being released from prison early on good behavior in October last year in connection to this case. Exantis was found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity for Logan's death and guilty but mentally ill for attacking Logan's family. He served less than half of his 20-year prison sentence. Now, according to Kentucky law, the Kentucky Department of Corrections was required to release Exantis on mandatory reentry supervision, even though the parole board voted unanimously to keep him in prison. Today, Logan's Law goes into effect. It expands the definition of a violent offender and increases the time some offenders have to serve before parole. It includes raising parole eligibility for life sentences from 25 to 35 years. It also limits early release options for violent offenders and creates a pathway for severely mentally ill defendants to get proper treatment. Last year, Exantis was arrested in Florida 1 week after his early release for failing to register as a convicted felon and put back behind bars in Kentucky for that. Our sister station, WDRB in Louisville, talked to Logan's father, Dean Tipton, when he was pushing lawmakers to pass the bill.
This is about accountability. My six-year-old son will never have accountability for his murder. No family should ever have to suffer the fact that their child was not important enough to keep this man behind bars. He stabbed my son 27 times while he slept.
And we're told that Exantis could be released from prison on July 29th. Live in Frankfort, Amelia Lee, WKYT.